Everyone, hope you are fine. So today I don't want to give any riddles, I don't want to give any puzzles, but today I am discussing a very important topic. I often face this question. So me being a student, I am Rito Roy. So I cleared RMO and pre-RMO once in 2018. So I think I am quite. I must not say I have gave JE also and I secured a 99.98 percentile in maths there. So I think I am apt for you to describe about this topic. So what happens that many people have approached me or many other teachers about how to prepare for a mathematics exam. So I have heard this question. So the main thing that people ask are very funny, that they ask that how much did you do, how much did you not do. So I first want to clear the basic thing that each individual born in this earth are unique in its own way. Everyone said that. From Albert Einstein to everyone, Swami Vivekananda, great persons have said that every person is unique in its own sense. So a method that might apply for me might not apply for you. I will just give you a general overview. I will just give you the pathway. But it's the duty of you how to follow the pathway and get into the way of success. And again, as I said, you have to discover your own pathway, because you must have a pathway of your own. Everyone is an individual. I am an individual, you're an individual. Say for example, working on 2 hours for maths for me was sufficient enough in a day. So I used to work for 2 hours for maths a day, and that was sufficient for me to score the percentile that I got of the result in Olympiads, a good result, a qualifying result in Olympiads that I have achieved. For you it may be 4 hours, for you it may be 1 hour, for you it may be even 10 minutes. No one knows. So it depends on you how much you can grasp. Every person is born with a special unique ability. Every person is born with everything, with every talent nurtured. And everyone should raise their talent, should bring out their talent in front of this world to be explored, so that the world gets to know that you, born as an individual, have left a mark. So these were the words what Swami Vivekananda has told, not me. It's the word of a great saint, Swami Vivekananda. So assuming those words, I want to say that every one of you born here is special. Every one of you here has an apt to do something. And I can just guarantee that in any way you can place an amount of $100 from my side, from the bet. It always doesn't mean that you need to succeed in whichever way a topper does. Remember, a topper never follows the way of another topper. That makes the topper. You remember that, suppose if we consider 2 footballers, say Messi and Ronaldo. So Messi doesn't follow the way of Ronaldo. Ronaldo doesn't follow the way of Messi. They both have an individual playing skill. They both have an individual playing strategy, for which now they are renowned worldwide. So for gaining success, first of all, the thing, in everything you must have your own pathway. So since my subject here is mathematics, so I want to say you about how to prepare for a mathematics exam. Now, first I would divide my lecture into 4 parts. So first I would give the general tips. Then I will give examination tips. Then I will give marks scoring tips. And then I will give you book tips. Then I will give you how to practice maths. To get into efficiency, and then I will conclude the entire statement. So the first topic I picked it. So general tips. So general tips means psychological and anything, say a scientific approach to a subject. So a psychological and a scientific approach is very necessary. So for mathematics, you need the scientific approach or more. So what happens is, as Anand Kumar has said, you all must have watched the movie Super 30. So he says that find problems, find questions in everything and rush to the solutions. That's the main tip that I will give you in the general tips. In the general tips, I might add another thing, that say physiological tips. So you need to find mathematics in everything. So remember that mathematics is in nature. In nature it is distributed. Mathematics in nature it is distributed. You need to find mathematics in everything. How can you find mathematics in everything? Just what I used to do. So let me tell you my own experience, that how did my interest in mathematics grow. So what happened is that when I used to go by the trains, I used to travel by trains from my beginning of the school life. So from nursery I used to travel by trains. So when I first learned what numbers are, so I just saw those numbers. So I just learned to add, subtract, multiply. So when I came to class 6, mathematics was the most hated subject for me. So my instructor in mathematics, my board teacher, so the new teacher got replaced in our school. So the old teacher who used to make mathematics life for me at least very boring got replaced, and then came a new teacher. The new teacher served as an inspiration for us. So that new teacher told us that you must find mathematics in everything. Mathematics is distributed in this world. So in the first lecture, to impress us, she gave us examples of palindromes. What are palindromes? Palindromes are numbers which are, you already know that, which are read same forwards and same as backwards. Like 2, 1, 4, 1, 2 is a palindrome. Because if you write 2, 1, 4, 1, 2 from here and you read it from here, so they read the same in both the ways. So just let's forget it. So what are palindromes? So after learning palindromes, so I was just very much interested that day that, oh, I have learned palindromes. So now what happened was, whenever I was going anywhere, I looked at the watch in our home. So in the watch, I saw a few bit of timings. And what happened was, I started to observe palindrome timings in the watch. So that observation of palindrome timings increased my interest in numbers. So from observing that numbers, when I grew up, I started calculating sum of digits. Like I am going by a train. So usually train have an Emu number called the Emu Numbers. So I am not aware with the full form. So those Emu numbers I used to see. So you see that the Emu numbers are shaped something like this. Say 171 by 42. So I still don't know what they mean. But whenever I used to see this, I used to divide, or I used to find some interesting properties. So that grew from that interest, from that inspiration. So the first thing that I had for the mathematics is I had an inspiration to study. And then I gained the interest. So an inspiration for not only mathematics, but in general every subject. An inspiration for every subject is important. I must say that an inspiration of every subject is important. So you must have an inspiration. You can set anyone as your inspiration. Ramanujan or many great mathematicians. I have said it to be my mathematics teacher. Your inspiration might be someone who isn't from the field of mathematics. It might be someone. And you will see that if you learn to see questions, solutions in mathematics everywhere, the nature is the best teacher of mathematics. I am unaware of physics and chemistry, but still I want to say that the nature is the best teacher of mathematics. Now I will give you examination tips. So during examination, you get both type of questions. You get MCQ questions, you get subjective questions. In Olympiad exams, you get subjective questions. So in examination, the most important thing a teacher checks is how you write. You must write full and complete solutions in the exam. And last but not the least is you must display all your rough work. How? Not scribbling, not untidy. Remember, there is marks for tidiness. I used to disbelieve this. My mother always used to tell this, that there are marks for tidiness. I used to disbelieve this, but later I realized that there are. So if this is your copy, okay, So for small calculations, I recommend you to draw a rough column on the side. Or if you have to do a full calculation, then just write rough here and continue. When the rough ends, put a margin. Do everything here, every rough calculations here, such that no rough calculations goes beyond the margin. No rough calculations should be beyond the margin. And here you write fair with the question number and do the sum properly. Examiner impression is one of the very good things that you can gain during a subjective question and examining the subjective question. Now in MCQ question, what you have to do? You will get very good MCQ books and study material from Saurabh Sir's classes. You can also buy MCQ books from any other company and you can practice MCQs. How to practice MCQs? You can practice MCQs topic based. So first when you are learning a topic, say practice MCQs topic based. And then during exam, just remember what time you solved. So before solving in home at practice, you must have a timer at home so that you can solve the MCQ. So here goes the examination tips. So the third one that comes is the mark scoring tips. So what is the mark scoring? So what are the mark scoring tips that I must say? One of the mark scoring tips that I have said is create a clean rough line, maintain a margin, create a rough line between your rough work for the entire problem and your fair work for the entire problem. So these are the cleanliness tips. Now how will you score marks? Remember, for exams like RMO, INMO, ISI, CMI, people demand complete solutions or people demand partial solution but without any logical flaw. You are presenting a solution and that should be perfect, perfectly written. So how to write a solution perfectly? You can find about writing a solution perfectly in Web Ivan Shen. So you can find in Ivan Shen's website. Ivan Shen website you can find. You can find a PDF on English. You can find a file like this, english.pdf. In Ivan Shen's website, you can get a file like this, english.pdf, and that is one of the best things that is wrote on how you must write a solution to the problem. This is one of the best texts. You must download this PDF. This PDF is available for free. You can go to that website and learn. So in that, Ivan Shen says that you must write solutions properly. Like suppose if you are writing a solution and it has no relation. So suddenly I have seen many RMO papers that have solutions like this. That if you go, that suppose there is a problem, you write, okay, so this is the figure, this is the triangle, and from here if we different, we get this and hence proved. No, this is not the solution. You must maintain all the steps. This is not at all a complete solution. No one will understand like this. So suppose you think that you live in India or you live in Calcutta. Say, suppose in Calcutta there is a very famous place called Chinatown where all the Chinese inhabitants usually reside. So suppose you are just blindfolded by your friend and suddenly your friend takes you to another place and opens your eyes and you see Chinese everywhere. And your friend says, so conclude that you are in China. No, you are not in China. You might be in China or you might not be in China. For a clear-cut representation, your friend must have some concrete proofs. You cannot just go and just make, so you can make your home as a Chinese decoration and say that you are in Chinese house. But that's not the proper way. So in this way, many people try to prove things, but usually they don't just confidently get to proving those things together. So in proving things, so this is one of the mark scoring tips. And whenever you approach a question, subdivide it. So if you have a general statement, as I said, make case studies. Case studies increases marks. For each case carries a marks. So make the cases as lemma 1. So when you have a theorem, say you have a problem P. In P you need to prove a theorem. Say anything. So you make a lemma L1, you make another lemma L2 from L1, from L2 you make another lemma L3. So how many lemmas you need? And from there just neatly approach to the problem from the nth lemma. Just neatly approach the problem. What some people do is just directly approach the problem from lemma 1. No, lemma 1 is a lemma, but you need to create more such sub cases or sub lemmas to solve a problem. That will help you increase marks and provide accuracy during the exam. Now book tips. Now book tips is the most book tips is a very much asked question in quantity than any other of these. So people say that we don't need these tips, we need only this tip. So book tips is the most important. And what I must say about a book is first of all, for mathematics, you need to have your concepts clear from class 5 to class 12. Yes, I am true, I am correct. Correctly speaking, you must have concepts clear from class 5. This is because all the thing, you don't think that class 5 maths was a waste. Everything comes to use. Everything, each and everything comes to use. You will see later when we will solve problems, you will see that each and everything comes to use. So book tips is you can practice any basic level books, including if you are an aspirant of Olympiads. I request you to do excursion book, challenges and thrills in pre-college mathematics, Arthur Angel book, problem solving strategies you all have known, Pathfinder book, Pathfinder for Olympiads, this is a very good book. And last but not the least, you must refer to Shourav sir's material. So Shourav sir's classes materials, they are really good. I must say that they have a large volume of problem solved which will help you. And the most important thing that is above the books is solving past year papers. Solving past year papers and solving sample papers or solving problems is the most important thing in any exam. I must say that this gives more importance than any book that can be present in the world. Now, let's get down to physiological steps. Now, physiological step is that how you must maintain your health, psychology before the maths exam. First of all, I must say that practice maths with a light mind. You must have your mind lightened up. Like you cannot practice maths with heavy thoughts. Like, say I have to play a computer game, or say I have to study physics later. Tomorrow is physics exam, and I am now doing maths because of my homework. No, don't do. When you are studying maths, you must have your head clear. In that case, you might always do a meditation. I must say there is a very simple meditation you can do. Just fold your hands and just close your eyes. When you close your eyes, just take deep breaths. When you take deep breaths, slowly open your eyes, imagining the focus point to be here. So before doing maths, in whichever way you do, this is the meditation that I suggested, that I used to do. So I still do it. So if you do this meditation, so any meditation that will help you to freshen up your mind. Remember, mathematics is a subject with fresh mind. It cannot be done when your mind has burden in it. You must do it with a contemplative mood, in a competitive way, in a fresh mind. And that will enable you to provide maximum success even in exams. And as I have said, so you have heard of Professor M.L. Agarwal. He's really a very great professor in India. Professor M.L. Agarwal says, don't practice maths on the last day of the exam. Means your exam is tomorrow, don't practice maths today. In fact, don't practice maths doesn't mean that you just read physics or chemistry. Just take it in a light mood. Read storybooks, listen to light songs, and have at least 4 hours of sleep. In any case, even if you are not prepared, what will happen? You will fail the exam. Still sleep 4 hours. You might pass the exam. And I have seen people doing such miracles following such tips. Sleeping is very important. Have proper and healthy diet. This is because if you have over and over of enlarged fast foods, I want to tell you a mechanism in brain. Fast foods releases body heat. So if you more eat fast food, it will help you to exhale oxygen, and the oxygen in your brain will go away. Brain helps you to think in maths. So you must always eat a healthy diet, a proper diet, so that you can maintain a proper year for mathematics. Proper atmosphere for mathematics is you have to find an inner peace. For every subject it applies, but I must say that for proper mathematics, you must develop an inner peace. Now, how to practice maths? As I said, that maths can be very boring and very interesting. How I practice maths and how I usually preach maths is that first of all, I start learning mathematics with a very good puzzle. Say the chapter is binomial theory, or say the chapter is number theory today. So in number theory, there is a puzzle. Introduction, there is a puzzle. And that puzzle increases your thinking ability, increases your interest in that subject. So try to approach maths by puzzles and by history. You will get a very good encouragement. You will get a very good behavior for practice, an attitude, a mathematical attitude for doing maths. And developing a mathematical attitude is very important for doing maths. You will eventually gain interest in things that will come. You will eventually get interest in technical things. Just take it in a light way. And wherever, suppose today you learned the binomial theorem. After learning the binomial theorem, you went through. So today you do some problems on binomial theorem. Simple problems on binomial theorem. Next day, get another set of simple problems from the binomial theorem and then start with the next point. So before concluding from a part 1 of a chapter or part 2 of a chapter to part 2 of a chapter, you must solve a series of problems. Just remember, reading mathematics without a pen and a paper by side is just worth nothing. Reading mathematics without pen and paper by sides. So, and of course, just I want to say that write everything you read in mathematics. That's very important. Any formula you write, any theorem you write. And last, it comes to the conclusion part that everyone, as I say, that every one of you has a unique ability. So try to use that ability. I must say that that ability might not be just for mathematics. That might be for anything. But use that ability properly and wisely. So students, all the best for your upcoming exams if you have any. And just keep in mind, follow these tricks, and as I said, develop a path of your own. This is because some days later you might be standing in my position that you are giving tips on mathematics and your juniors are listening to it. Thank you.